Clarkson's Farm Season 4 is now out on Amazon Prime, and it might be the best example of what it's really like to be a small business owner. I'd be happy to tell you more about why. And welcome back to the Murdy Creative Co podcast. I'm your host, Colin Murdy, and today's topic is why Clarkson's Farm may just be the best example of a small business. But first, I want to say thank you to everyone who supported the company so far. If you got a chance, go check us out on the web at murdycreative.co. That's M-U-R-D-Y creative.co. Or you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. We are happy and excited to announce that we have some new inserts for our composition and our tabloid cut leather covers. So we are now offering the moleskin Cahiers. Is that how it's said? I have no idea. Cahiers inserts for both the tabloid and the composition cut. Now, that is awesome for those who like to take a little bit larger format notes and who want a little bit nicer notebooks in their options. So it's a great option. Don't forget Father's Day is coming up. So if you're looking for something special for that special guy, Father's Day is coming up and we'd be happy to help with that. So Clarkson's Farm Season 4 has come out. This is not an advertisement for the show precisely, although you're going to want to watch it after I say this, so perhaps one could interpret it as such. But my wife and I have watched them every season as they've come out, and it has become a favorite of ours over the years. And I just laugh every time I watch it, not just because it's funny, but because it's my day-to-day life in many ways, just in a totally different format. So for those who don't know, Jeremy Clarkson is a British, what's the right way to say it? He was a British celebrity who, with two other gentlemen, James May and Richard Hammond, had a very popular show called Top Gear for many years. They left Top Gear and they went to Amazon Prime and did Grand Tour, which was very similar in many ways. And it was a car show, but it was also it was a bit of a comedy show. It was a funny show. It was three guy friends being hilarious together. Now, the three gentlemen have gone their own ways now and have gone on to their own projects in their own right. And one of the things that has come out of that is that Jeremy Clarkson, when he retired from Top Gear and from Grand Tour, he went back to his farm that he has owned for many years in the Cotswolds in England. And in his returning to this, there was a gentleman who had been running the farm, who had been leasing the farm, who had been farming the farm, and he just lived there and owned it. But he decided after Grand Tour that he was going to farm his own farm. At that time, he had to been he'd been in his early 60s, maybe. Actually, he's 62 now, so he had to have been 58 at the time. And he said he was going to start farming. Having never farmed a day in his life, he was going to start farming his 1,000-acre farm. And it was amazing. The hijinks that ensued are hilarious. And the show itself has become a great force for good in the world of British farming and farming in general, because it has shown to the great public the challenges that many farmers have to deal with, the different difficulties with government regulation, with rain, with lack of rain, and other weather issues, with rising prices, with tariffs, with the war in Ukraine and Russia, how that affected that. I mean, it's been an awesome show because it's really shown in many ways the very real difficulties of being a farmer. But one of the reasons that I love it is because Jeremy Clarkson represents, in my opinion, one of the single best examples of what it's like to be an entrepreneur. Because many times, in fact, almost the entire show is built on the idea that Jeremy goes, I think I'm going to do this great idea that I have. I have a ingenious idea, a brilliant idea. I'm going to do X, whether it be cows or sheep or chickens or pigs or farming mushrooms or any other many things that he has these ideas for. And invariably, on paper, it seems like a really good idea. And in practice, it's very difficult. And he has to solve an innumerable number of challenges that arise throughout the course of these new ideas. But he persists on through the difficulties. And he, in his own personality, is a force for positive. We can do this. Of course we can do this, right? And I think that how hard could it be, Gene, is a critical part of being a small business owner, because many times that's what starts the operation. It's I could do this. How hard could it be, right? And always it's way, way harder than you anticipate. And it's funny because he surrounds himself with two very hilarious individuals on the show. One is called Cheerful Charlie and one is Caleb. Caleb is a young farmer who has been farming in that area of the world for a long time, at least for as long as any young farmer can have farmed. And he's quite experienced in his own right at farming. But he's a farmer. And I think that one of the elements of Caleb's personality is he's not exactly an innovative guy. He farms the way farming has been done forever. And then there's Charlie, who is an older gentleman, younger than Jeremy, I'm pretty sure, but still, you know, a gentleman who is wise in his years. And he represents a very experienced farm manager and farm advisor. So he's the guy that knows all about the many government regulations and what the right farm crops to grow based off of the best growing seasons and what's selling. He's the guy that kind of has all of the experiential knowledge in the higher decision making when it comes to what to grow and how to grow it and all those other good things. And Cheerful Charlie, as he's called, gets that nickname because a lot of times he's got to be the guy that rains on the parade. He's got to be the one to say, there's no way you can do that. You need to get permission from the planning council to do this. You can't, there's no way, it's not legal. You can't do that within the bounds of the way the law is written. Like, it's really quite funny because it really shows you in many ways as you watch the show that what would otherwise be a very good idea gets trampled on and destroyed and ruined by either government regulation or just simple physics. And it's really quite a fun show to watch. And I've been thinking about it as I've been watching it because in many ways, being a small business owner involves having to be the one to say, let's do it. Let's try this crazy idea. Let's do something that's so wildly difficult and yet doesn't seem that hard, right? We should be able to do this. I should be able to do this, right? That is the world of small business ownership. And one of the things that you'll discover as you watch the show in the first season and then in every season subsequently is that farmers work very hard all year long with no break and in many years don't make any money at all. And that is challenging for them. I think what's talked about in the show, or at least briefly, and I think this is true. I haven't done my private verification of this, so if I'm wrong, feel free to mention it in the comments. But I think farmers have the highest suicide rate of any career. And after watching the show, I understand why. Because you work really, really long, difficult hours doing hard work with no break. And you are at the mercy of the weather. You are at the mercy of the way that the rules are played out. And at the end of it all, you may not make anything at all. And you may do that for years and years and years. And that's really difficult, I would imagine. Now, being a small business owner in some regards has some of that same issue. Sometimes you'll work for years at a time and nothing will come from it. You'll make no money. You'll spend every dime you do make paying other people. And it's very difficult. And one of the things that Jeremy is very good about is a creative application of, well, what if we did it this way? And it's funny because in many ways, the success of his harebrained schemes are what generates progress in his effort to make the farm profitable. He has many times said, let's try this idea. And everybody around him who knows what they're talking about goes, there's no way that that's going to work. That's going to be very difficult. There's no way it's profitable at the end of the day. And he says, well, we're going to do it anyway. We're going to figure out a way. And then after doing it, it becomes somewhat profitable. Or if it's not profitable, he changes, he pivots, he comes up with a new idea, and then it becomes profitable, right? He just keeps charging the hill and trying to solve the thing in front of him. And it's a very encouraging thing for all of those small business out there who are looking at it and watching it going, you know what, maybe in the end it does turn out okay. And you need to have that, right? You need to have that idea that I'm going to try something and it's going to work. And when it doesn't work, I'm going to change it so that it does work. And when that doesn't work, I'm going to try again and make it work. Because you need to have an unstoppable mindset around what can be done. And you have to be willing to say, I'm going to do something that doesn't make any sense to everyone else and to everyone who knows what they're talking about, and try it anyway. And a lot of the things that he comes up with are out-of-the-box solutions that if you were perhaps a traditional farmer, you may not think about because you're coming at the problem with a framework of experience. And that framework of experience is smart. It is established. It has a lot of wisdom of the ages built into it, but it also can be limiting in many ways. And I love watching the man work because he definitely is very good at that. For me, I think a lot of the challenge that small business has brought me is encouraging. I want it to be hard. I was talking about this with my wife the other day. I've been doing this business now for almost, well, officially, formally 2018 to 2025. We're 7 and change years into this. And it's been hard the whole time. And for the last month or two, some of that hardness, some of that pressure has let up a little bit. We've started to get to a point where some of the necessity to just charge the hill every moment of the day is letting back a little bit. We're able to be and exist and have things go well. And I don't even know. It's like I'm talking with my wife about this. I'm like, I feel guilty about not having to be, worrying about this, to being freaking out about this, to be working really, really hard at this, to be really pounding the pavement on this, and to be able to just let the process roll out on its own, right? To just work every day at the problem at a reasonable pace without having to have this be an existential threat, and just press forward. And I'm not used to it, and it's a little disconcerting and uncomfortable for me, but in some regards, as she pointed out, it's the result of years and years and years of grinding at it that has got us to this point, that has allowed us to be where we're at. And we shouldn't look at the fact that it's not like that at the moment as a bad thing. We should take the blessing for what it is and realize that it might get hard again pretty soon, and we should just take the breather while we've got the breather. And there are a lot of things that we're doing here that are difficult and time-consuming, like the pen, which is taking forever. And it's a good thing that it's taking forever. It should be hard. If it wasn't hard, I wouldn't be doing something worthwhile in some regards, right? Difficult things, especially things like the pen, you need to do them until they're done right. And that takes as long as it takes. And we're working with our tannery to reformulate the leather. And I mean, we just got another round of sampling in, and this is like the 12th samples that we've got in of a totally different way of doing it. And it's not right. I mean, it's not right in a way that's really frustrating, because I was really hoping this one was going to be it. I mean, I've hoped the last 11 were as well, so take that for what it's worth. But maybe it's the perpetual willingness to say, this one's going to be it. We're going to get it right. This is going to be the one that makes it so that we can get through 12 of them. And at the end of the day, I think it's going to end well. I'm confident in that, right? For all that it's worth, for the difficulty that it has been, in many ways, the difficulty is the joy. It's the fun. And if you can't find fun in the difficulty, then it's not really a good fit. But if it's hard, there's a little encouragement to me saying that if it's this hard to make this leather the way we want it to be, it's this hard for everyone else to do it as well, which means that we're really doing something special. And if we're really willing to commit to doing something special, and we're really willing to put the time in to make it right, and we're really willing to run through all of the different sampling and all the different testing and all of the rigorous standards that we're working on to make a leather that is non-bleeding, is durable, is going to last for 120 years and more, is going to be water resistant, if not waterproof, and is going to be able to be something that's a stable, reliable product for the future. If it's this difficult to make it, then when we finish it, when we figure it out, when we get it right, it's going to be something special. And I'm listening to Jeremy Clarkson talk about his projects, and I'm thinking to myself, yes, that's the right attitude. We're going to figure it out. It's going to be hard. It's going to be an uphill slog. It's going to feel like it's never going to work. But at the end of the day, it's going to, and we're going to keep going until it does. So for those of you, I guess this is going to turn into an advertisement. So for those of you who like small business challenges, who like watching the process unfold and the sausage get made in the decision process to build something, Clarkson's Farm on Amazon Prime is very good. I would recommend watching it from the beginning, because it's a story that unfolds. And yes, we're 4 seasons into it. And yes, it's different now than it was in the beginning, but it's good to watch it from start to finish, because you can see how it evolves in a way that is meaningful. So I would encourage you to do that. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. If you have watched Clarkson's Farm, do you think I nailed it? Do you think I'm interpreting what I'm seeing correctly? Or is it just that my particular lens of viewing the world as a small business owner is shaping Clarkson's Farm to look like that, and you, as someone else, saw it totally differently? Is there another aspect of Clarkson's Farms that you think I might have missed talking about in this, that you think is something the viewers should know? Comment below. I want to hear from you. That engagement also helps the company, helps the algorithm. Also hit that like and subscribe button to be part of the channel, and be sure to hit the notification bell so you get notified when we launch new episodes. We're launching episodes every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Hopefully. If I miss a day, I'm sorry. If it comes out late, I'm sorry. But we're doing our best, and it's coming along. If for whatever reason you have any questions about the product, if you want to know something more, if you want to send us a message, if you just want to send something nice to us, go to Murdy Co, and you can go to the main page. At the very bottom of the main page, there's a contact form. You can reach out to us via that, or you can send us an email directly at sales@murdycreative.co. Sales@murdycreative.co is how you can email us directly. You can give us a phone call at 414-434-9001. We're available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Time during the summer. And we really appreciate you guys reaching out to us directly whenever you have questions. 414-434-9001. You can call or text that number. If it's out of hours, or if you don't get a hold of us for whatever reason during hours, leave us a voicemail. We will call you back. We appreciate it. Anna Joe's the one that answers the phone. She's the one that answers the email. She's the one that texts you back. And Anna Joe does eventually need to sleep and eat and all the other things. So she's not available 24/7, but she will absolutely help you as soon as she can. So reach out to us. If you don't hear back from us, just give us a little time. Usually it takes less than 24 hours for us to respond to people. Usually we're a lot faster than that. But if for whatever reason you have a question about a product, we want to answer the question. We want you to reach out to us. If you have a review to leave for us, a good review especially, go to murdycreative.co/review. That will take you right now to Google, where we want you to write the review. We do reroute that URL to different review sites over time. So if you go to that link now and you're watching this at some point in the future and it's not going to Google, don't panic. We just have it go to different review sites because it helps us to get the reviews in many places where people look for reviews. And obviously, depending on where we're directing you is where we want you to leave the review. You can also read our reviews on murdycreative.co/reviews with an S. murdycreative.co/reviews with an S. That is where we aggregate all of those reviews from different places, and you can read many of them there. If for whatever reason you'd leave us a bad review, before you do so, please, please, please give us an opportunity to make things right. It is deeply important to me personally that everyone has a good experience both with the company and with the product. And if for whatever reason you are unhappy, before you leave a bad review, give me an opportunity to make things right. I will. We offer free domestic returns. So if you bought something from us and you don't like it, for whatever reason, reach out to us. We'll send you a label. You can send it back. No hard feelings. We understand it's not for everybody. And you can get refunded. So we want you to be happy. We really do. Please, 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 before you leave us a bad review, give us an opportunity to fix it first. If for whatever reason you want to get a custom engraved item, reach out to us for the things that don't have the blue button on the product page. But for everything else, if you go to the product pages, there's a blue Add Custom Logo Engraving button. When you click that button, it will launch the customizer for that product. You can upload logos, you can add text, you can resize, rotate, reposition, all that other things, and then you hit Add to Cart, and it'll automatically charge the correct amount for that engraving as you adjust it. It's a simple flat fee. No setup fees, no minimum order quantities. You can just get one if you want, and you can do that. And it's usually between $15 and $25, depending on how complicated and how large the engraving is. But when you hit that Add to Cart button, it'll take it to the cart. You could change the quantity there. So if you're going to get something with like a corporate logo on it for your company and you want to get 10 of them, rather than having to redo it 10 times, just add the one to your cart and make the quantity 10. And that's the easy way to do it. We do have bulk discounts available. They auto apply starting at five items and 5 eligible items. We don't, like, refills don't count, pens don't count. Like I should say, the Parker Jotter doesn't count. Our pens will when we launch our pens, but it's mix and match to your heart's desire. So it's only based off the total cart quantity. So you can add various things and it'll auto apply the correct bulk discount for the correct quantity that you've got. If you've got questions about that program, reach out. We're happy to talk you through it. If you don't see that blue Add Custom Logo Engraving on the product page, you can reach out to us directly via email, include the image that you want to add customized, and we will be happy to make a custom mockup as well as a custom order link for you to use for that product. It's just difficult to get everything in the customizer, so we haven't gotten it all done yet, but we're working on it. So that's where you can get custom things even if it's not necessarily available on the customizer. Reach out to us for that. We're happy to help. Please do not use anything copyright protected. Anything by Disney, anything by Lucasfilm, anything like that. It's all copyright protected. We cannot use it. It's just too much of an issue, and they are very litigious, as well as anybody else who has a copyright holder. And I don't begrudge people with copyright holding. That's particularly how intellectual property works. But don't use it if you don't have permission for it. If you do have permission for it, send us that email. We send you an automatic proof email when you purchase it. You can respond to that proof email with the copyright permission if you have it. And we'll reach out to you if we think the image is copyright protected and we're worried about it. But please don't do that. It makes a whole problem for us. So if you're looking for non-copyright protected images that you can use for commercial stuff, that's like black and white images, Pixabay, Pixabay, is a good place to find copyright-free, royalty-free, commercial use images that can be used for stuff like this. And they have a lot of generic stock stuff, so it's a good place to go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a great day, and goodbye.